Disclaimer. The video serves informational and entertainment purpose only. The content is considered speculative and should not be treated as confirmed fact. We encourage you to conduct your research and form your conclusion.
They needed to make it known that Robert Downey Jr. supports this, and they had to get a special message out there from Robert Downey Jr.
Do you mind if we interrupt the interview for just a moment? Because I think we have a very special message. I think you're going to recognize who this is.
Good morning, America. New studio. That looks great. Ms. Thorne, I couldn't be happier than to be seeing you bring Riri Williams to life.
I love the first half of this when you just see him reading. Like, you can see his eyes as they track.
I bet he doesn't even know who Riri Williams is.
He is reading this. Watch his eyes as they track.
Couldn't be happier than to be seeing you bring Riri Williams to life. But the hood has me nervous. Is the hood green? Please tell me Mr. Ramos is not replacing me as Dr. Doom via Parker Robbins. Is there something you're not telling me? Anyway, I don't want to step on your interview. Long story short, Iron Man loves Ironheart.
Does that make you feel like one of the original Avengers? Say that.
I love Iron Man too. Oh man.
He really does, Ryan. He loves Ironheart.
He really does.
Wow. Imagine that Disney-owned ABC was able to get Disney-owned Marvel characters to talk to each other on a Disney-owned morning show. To make that happen, man, they must have pulled all the strings just to have the fans be like, well, if Iron Man approves, then this show is okay with me.
Ironheart just dropped on Disney Plus, and in a matter of days, it's being called the biggest disaster the MCU has ever released. And at the center of the fallout, not just the show's writers, not just the execs, but Robert Downey Jr. himself. Yes, the man who built the MCU, who turned Iron Man into a global icon, is now caught in the middle of a messy, high-stakes feud between Disney, Marvel, and the fans who once worshipped him. You'd think after Wakanda Forever, people would be hyped to see Riri Williams take flight. But instead of a genius successor, fans got a character with no moral compass, a confusing plot, and a villain in a red hoodie who bends bullets like this was a bad TikTok sketch. The backlash? Immediate, brutal, and relentless. Now Disney is panicking, executives are scrambling, and Robert Downey Jr., he's being forced into the fire to clean up the mess for a show he had nothing to do with. Behind the scenes, he's livid, being dragged into press tours, told to promote a show he barely touched, and pressured to speak out against his own fan base. And the most shocking part? Marvel may be threatening to punish him by sabotaging his return in Avengers. Doomsday. This isn't just about Ironheart flopping. This is a story of manipulation, betrayal, and a studio willing to burn its brightest star just to cover up their own failure. So buckle up, because this isn't just a PR disaster, it's the start of a full-blown meltdown.
Ironheart just dropped on Disney Plus, and it's already being called the worst MCU series yet. After Wakanda Forever, people were excited to see Riri Williams shine, but instead of a genius hero, we get a reckless, selfish version of her character with zero moral compass. The story's a mess. She gets kicked out of MIT, joins a gang for money, and somehow, nobody questions her shady behavior. The villain? A magic-wielding guy in a red hoodie who bends bullets, but still needs backup for no reason. The action scenes? Flat and full of bad CGI. Even the big AI twist, something that could have been deep and emotional, is rushed and poorly written. It's not the diverse cast that's the problem. It's the weak plot, sloppy pacing, and empty characters. This one might actually be worse than Secret Invasion, and that says a lot.
So let's talk about what actually went wrong. Because Ironheart wasn't supposed to be a disaster. After her introduction in Wakanda Forever, fans were intrigued, excited even. Riri Williams had potential. The kind of brainy, fearless hero that could carry the next generation of Marvel. But what we got was a train wreck in slow motion. From the very first episode, something felt off. The writing was clunky, the pacing all over the place. And Riri, instead of the genius tech prodigy fans expected, we got a reckless, selfish version of the character, with no moral compass, no accountability, and no soul. She's kicked out of MIT, joins a gang for quick money, and somehow, no one questions her choices. Not the characters, not the show, not even the studio. And the villain? A guy in a red hoodie who can bend bullets using magic, but still calls for backup like he's in a high school brawl? Come on. The CGI flat, the fight scenes, emotionless, and the so-called AI twist that should have hit deep, it was so rushed it barely made a dent. Let's be clear, the cast isn't the problem. The writing is, the execution is, the vision is completely missing. Instead of telling a meaningful story about legacy, about stepping into Iron Man's shoes with grit and honor, Marvel handed fans a hollow shell of what could have been, and now, the backlash has begun. Ratings are plummeting, critics are roasting it, and fans, they're checking out. But trust me, this is just the beginning of the storm. Because what comes next drags in the biggest name in Marvel history, Robert Downey Jr. himself, and he's not staying quiet. Now, if the show's broken, writing wasn't enough, it was one promo video, just one, that blew up the entire internet. 2 characters, 1 scene, a few lines about being able to beat up big guys and walking away like a badass. And boom, a culture war ignited overnight. Because here's the part that lit the match. A non-binary character talks about taking hormones and getting surgery, identifying as masculine but not a man, and then casually flexes about beating up dudes. And suddenly, the internet exploded. People weren't just confused, they were furious. Some called it inspiring, others said it was manipulative, but millions felt like Marvel wasn't writing characters anymore. They were writing controversies. And in this case, one that felt like it was meant to bait the audience into outrage. And it worked. TikTok was flooded with reaction videos. Twitter, X, became a battlefield. And YouTube? Full of creators breaking down frame by frame how this one scene shattered whatever hope was left for Ironheart's success. But let's get real. This isn't about gender identity. This is about poor storytelling hiding behind identity labels. It's not bold if it's not well written. It's not progressive if it's shallow. And it's definitely not representation if the only thing people remember is how forced it felt. Marvel didn't craft a powerful moment. They crafted a marketing strategy, and it backfired. Because once this clip went viral, the show wasn't just bad TV anymore. It became a cultural lightning rod. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, Marvel made one huge mistake. They dragged Robert Downey Jr. into the mess.
They decided to center an entire promo video on these 2 characters.
Your dream is to be able to do this stuff, knock some big guys out and walk away and be like,
I do kind of want to stop and talk about this for a second. So if you got all this surgery, you take all these hormones to identify as masculine, not a man apparently because you're non-binary, whatever the you want to call this. Is it really that impressive then if you identify as a man to be beating up other men? I don't know how that works.
Behind all the flashy trailers, glossy promos, and forced smiles, Marvel Studios is in full meltdown mode. Ironheart was supposed to be their next big move, a bold new face, a rising star. But instead, it's turned into a flaming disaster. And now the top brass is scrambling to contain the inferno. Bob Iger is pacing the halls of Disney HQ, watching investor confidence crumble. Kevin Feige, once the golden god of the MCU, is now dodging internal criticism, desperately trying to patch the hole in Marvel's sinking ship. And at the center of it all, Robert Downey Jr., dragged into a PR mess he never signed up for. According to insiders, Marvel begged RDJ to do talk shows, hype the series, and lend his Iron Man glow to Ironheart's rollout. But here's the kicker. He had zero creative involvement with the show, and now fans feel lied to. It wasn't a genuine torch-passing moment. It was a calculated distraction. Backstage, tensions are at an all-time high. Executives are pointing fingers. Dominique Thorne, the actress behind Riri Williams, is getting none of the support she deserves. And the writers? They've gone radio silent. Marvel's once bulletproof formula is now breaking under pressure, and Ironheart is the clearest symptom yet. This isn't just one failed show. It's a symptom of a studio in crisis, where identity politics, rushed scripts, and corporate decisions are replacing heart, story, and character. And just when things couldn't look any worse, they asked Robert Downey Jr. to do something even bolder, riskier, and possibly career-ending. Stay with me. The next part, it's where everything explodes. Robert Downey Jr. should be on top of the world right now. Iconic career, fan love, and a legacy sealed in gold as Iron Man. But instead, he's been dragged straight into Marvel's burning mess. He didn't create Ironheart, he didn't write it, he didn't even act in it. But Marvel, they're treating him like their emergency fire extinguisher, trying to smother the flames by shoving him into the spotlight. According to sources, Marvel execs Bob Iger and Kevin Feige held a hush-hush emergency call with RDJ. The ask? Go public. Defend Riri Williams. Call out the fans. Blame the backlash on sexism, misogyny, and toxic fandom. But Robert Downey Jr., he wasn't having it. He reportedly snapped, telling them flat out, "This isn't my fight, and if you force me into it, I'll lose fans, not gain them." You could almost hear the air leave the room. RDJ didn't just push back, he put his foot down. He made it crystal clear. He won't be a mouthpiece. Not for a show he had no control over. not for a narrative he doesn't believe in. But Disney wasn't done. They reminded him, his Avengers. Doomsday contract includes PR obligations. Translation, do what we say or pay the price. And now, RDJ is caught in a corporate power struggle, one wrong move away from burning bridges with the very studio that helped make him a global icon. This isn't just a PR mess. It's emotional blackmail dressed up in mouse ears. And the worst part? They haven't even shown him the full trap they're setting next. Behind all the glitz, the glam, the billion-dollar blockbusters, there's something uglier lurking in Hollywood. And Robert Downey Jr. just stepped right into it. See, when RDJ signed on for his return in Avengers, Doomsday, it wasn't just about showing up, doing the work, and cashing the check. Buried deep in that glossy contract was something far more sinister: mandatory PR obligations. Translation, if Marvel tells you to show up on a talk show, you show up. If Disney says smile and defend a failing project, you better smile wide. That's exactly what they pulled on RDJ with Ironheart. Sources say they pushed him to parade around like a cheerleader for a show he didn't help create and doesn't even believe in. They fed him talking points, scheduled interviews, all under the illusion that his name alone could save the series. But when the show flopped and the fans saw right through the act, Marvel didn't take the hit. They hung it on him. And now, insiders claim they're threatening to freeze or cut back RDJ's presence in the Doomsday campaign unless he plays ball. Less Tony Stark in the trailer, less spotlight, less legacy. Imagine that. The man who built the MCU being held hostage by the very empire he helped create. RDJ didn't sign up to be a puppet. And now he's staring down a cold corporate machine with one message pulsing behind every meeting and contract clause. You owe us. But Robert Downey Jr., he's not going down quietly. Because the trap might be set, but Iron Man always has one last move. At first, it looked like Marvel's old trick was working. Roll out RDJ, flash the smile, say all the right things, and boom, instant hype, right? Wrong. The fans? They aren't buying the act anymore. Clips from RDJ's interviews started going viral, but not the way Marvel hoped. Viewers were flooding the comments saying things like, "Why does it look like he's reading off a hostage script? That's not Tony. That's someone being forced to sell a lie." And it showed. His energy felt off. His tone? Flat. That sparkle in RDJ's eye, the one we've all come to love, it was missing. People could see it, feel it, and it sparked a storm. Reddit threads lit up. TikToks dissected every awkward pause, every fake laugh, every time RDJ dodged a real question about the show. It became painfully obvious. This wasn't passion. This was damage control. Marvel underestimated just how smart their audience really is. They thought a few press tours and legacy cameos would mask bad writing, forced politics, and broken promises. But fans aren't brainwashed anymore. They've seen this pattern before, with Star Wars, with Secret Invasion, and now it's happening again. And the worst part? Dragging RDJ into the fire just made things messier. Instead of saving Ironheart, they turned its biggest PR push into a public embarrassment. Because when the fans realize you're faking it, they don't forgive you. They walk away. And now Marvel is watching that happen in real time. This isn't the first time Disney's played this game. And fans, they're starting to recognize the pattern. Flashback to 2022, Obi-Wan Kenobi drops on Disney+. Hype was through the roof until the backlash came pouring in. Suddenly, Ewan McGregor, the Obi-Wan, was front and center in a carefully crafted video. He wasn't talking about the story. He wasn't talking about the show. He was calling out the fans. Corporate message, polished tone, the same old playbook. Oh yeah. Now fast forward to today, and we're watching the exact same script unfold. Only this time, it's not Jedi robes. It's iron suits. Robert Downey Jr., a man known for his charisma and connection with fans, is now caught in the same PR spin cycle. And just like McGregor before him, he's expected to step in, take the heat, and redirect the narrative. But here's the twist. RDJ's not playing along. He's not reading from Disney's script. He's pushing back, and fans are noticing. Wait, didn't this happen with Kenobi? Is this just how Disney handles backlash now? The parallels are too loud to ignore, and it's making people question everything. Was McGregor really speaking from the heart back then? Or was he, like RDJ now, just a beloved face used to soften the blow of a studio failure? And if Disney keeps recycling this damage control tactic, how long until every big star ends up in the same trap? Because once fans start connecting the dots, the illusion breaks. And when that happens, even a mouse can't control the story anymore. Just when you think the Marvel drama couldn't get any more unhinged, they drop the biggest twist yet. Robert Downey Jr. might not just return as Iron Man. He's rumored to be playing Dr. Doom in Avengers. Doomsday. Yeah, you heard that right. Tony Stark. Now the villain? At first, fans didn't know what to think. Half the internet lit up with excitement. The other half, completely floored, asking the same question. Is this genius or straight up desperation? Let's be real. RDJ is the backbone of the MCU. Without him, Endgame wouldn't have felt like the end. But flipping him into Doom? That's not just risky, it's nuclear. It reeks of a studio grasping for relevance. Instead of building new stars, they're recycling their biggest weapon. Not because it's right for the story, but because they're scared the audience has already walked away. You can feel it. The panic, the pressure, the cold sweat dripping down the boardroom walls at Disney and Marvel. They promised RDJ that Ironheart would be a smash hit. It flopped. Now they're trying to lock him in as Doom, to shift attention, to reset the hype. But the question hanging over everything, will fans even be able to see him as anything but Iron Man? Because when your hero becomes your villain, it might not be a twist. It might be a sign that the magic is gone. And if this is Marvel's Hail Mary, what happens if it doesn't land? The clock's ticking. And this time, even Tony Stark might not save them. So now, after all the noise, the leaks, the awkward press tours, the fan outrage, the forced cameos, the backstage shouting matches, we're left with one haunting question. Who is Marvel anymore? Because it sure as hell isn't the studio that gave us Iron Man, Infinity War, or Black Panther. This is a studio staring into its own reflection and not liking what it sees. With Ironheart collapsing, RDJ furious, and fans calling out the fake PR moves, Marvel isn't just losing audience trust. It's losing its identity. The once tight formula? Broken. The heroes we loved? Rewritten, sidelined, or forgotten. And the stars? They're being treated like PR puppets, not icons. Even worse, the studio seems more focused on optics than storytelling, more interested in checking boxes than building legends. And now, with RDJ's rumored role as Dr. Doom hanging in the balance, we're not just watching a franchise evolve, we're watching it spiral. What happens when the house built on heroes no longer knows what a hero looks like? What happens when fans stop buying the hype and start walking away? Because this isn't just about Ironheart. It's about a universe cracking under the weight of its own expectations. And maybe the scariest thing isn't Marvel failing, it's that they might not even see it happening in real time. One thing's for sure, Robert Downey Jr. isn't going down with the ship. And unless Marvel makes a serious course correction, this fallout, it's just the beginning. And that's the tea for today, my little gossip gremlins. If you enjoyed this drama buffet, don't forget to hit that like button like it's your ex's new partner's Instagram. Aggressively and with zero shame. Beauty. Subscribe to Fame Files so you never miss a single scandal, meltdown, or red carpet disaster. I'm literally serving up hot gossip every single day, even if my Wi-Fi begs me to stop. And listen, be a doll and tap that bell too, okay? Because your girl Macy's got bills to pay, celeb egos to roast, and a grocery cart full of overpriced almond milk that won't buy itself. Shopping cart money. So until next time, stay nosy, stay fabulous, and remember, I spill it so you don't have to sip in silence. Bye.